Hmm?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. We have head coach, Mr. Hilton Moy. He will address your questions.
Hilton, England played well, but that's got to be a very disappointing performance from South Africa, particularly the batting.
I think for us to start is to say like, yeah, just highlighted they played well under the conditions, and once again very frustrating with our batting. It just didn't fire as far as the World Cup is concerned.
Can you put into words how disappointing it is to go out at this stage of the competition?
Yeah, we actually left words. Everyone in the change room very disappointed because you know the quality we had. I mean, at one stage you played with 8 batters, and still we couldn't get to a respectable total or defendable total. I mean, if you look at our overall game, our bowlers have actually bowled well, and also backed up by good fielding. It's just that on the day when you look at the game against West Indies, it's a game we felt that with the quality we had, it's a score you should be able to chase down. It just didn't happen.
Your kind of key player with the bat is Lizelle Lee, and she's kind of underperformed in this tournament. Has somebody been telling her it seems like she's perhaps stifling her natural game, that she's not hitting out to the extent that we're used to seeing that? Do you think that there's been some advice there from the coaches telling her to bat in a different way this tournament? Or
Not at all. Not at all. I think even if you look, hence we're so frustrated because it's like some of the players when you got in the middle, they just change their game plan and approach. I think even today's wicket was a bit on the slow side. But we still felt that you can get yourself a respectable score. Anything about 130 on this wicket would be difficult to chase because we chased also on this wicket. We fell at place. That's why for us, it's when you look at the entire batting lineup actually, since we got to our return leg to the West Indies, it hasn't been good.
It was such a timid performance early on with the bat in that power play in the first 10 overs. Do you think that was a bit of a hangover from what happened a couple of nights ago against the West Indies with that collapse?
No, I think what needed to be said was said against the game against West Indies. And today we knew that the team we had to win. The team that's on the losing change room is going to struggle to make it through. And everybody came in knowing, I mean, the kind of chance that we had, and that's why we loaded the team with another 1 or 2 batters that we got in, that we could see if we can change it, because we felt that against the bowling lineup of England, we can actually, it's a bowling lineup we can take on and give ourselves a chance as a team. But again, it's the basics that we're not applying well. When you look at application, I mean, even simple things like strike rotation is something that's not happening like it's supposed to. So for us, I think as a changing room, we need to sit down again and go back to the drawing board, because it has been a very disappointing World Cup for all of us. And with the talent that we have in the team, it's very tough. For our supporters back home to watch this, I think for us, it's unacceptable.
Given what we've seen, the output we've seen from individual players in the South African side in the domestic T20 comps and occasionally for your country, do you think there's a mental hurdle the side needs to overcome sooner rather than later? Because it doesn't seem to marry up the output here versus what we know they can do.
No, mentally, I think at the end of the day, it's how players approach it. I mean, when you look at the way everything started at this ground, there's not a lot of teams that have scored over 100. If you can see the scores over 100 at this ground. So mentally, I think when we arrived here, I think the preparation was very good. Everybody got a run on these wickets. We had a series against West Indies here prior to the World Cup. And it's just, for us, we felt that since the World Cup has started, it just didn't fire.
Looking forward, this is still quite a young team. You're not going to expect any of this team to retire. So this is the core of the team that you're going to be taking forward to 2020. What do you need to get right between now and 2020 at the next 2020?
No, we're blessed with a lot of youngsters that is coming through. Even if you saw the young keeper now coming in, Faye. And for us, where the team is going and where the build-up towards 2020 now, is for us now to go sit down and look at what we could have, what we can work, what we can improve after this World Cup. I think it's one of those that you want to quickly put behind you as a team and focus on the future. Yes, there's a lot of youngsters, and we still feel that somewhere along the line the batters will start playing to their potential, which is always one thing I fear as a coach, because there's a lot of potential in the change room. it's just not being executed at all stages. So as we're now sitting where we are as a team because of that. And when you look at the bowling attack again, world class, it is just not being backed up by batters.
Thanks, coach. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much there is to talk through. A couple of slower balls and then one that hit the stumps. Look, it's obviously something that's pretty special, but I think credit's got to go to all the bowlers and in particular Nat, who was outstanding today.
Sorry. You've just mentioned Nat Siver. obviously, she's to some extent stepping up, opening the bowling in place of injured Catherine Brunt, who's your normal new ball partner. Can you talk about? She seems to have really stepped up as a bowler in T20 recently. Can you talk about what it's like opening the bowling alongside her?
Look, it's been outstanding the last couple of games. She's been brilliant with the new ball. It's something she's done a bit in the past when I guess either myself or Catherine have been injured. And she always does a brilliant job. She's worked really hard in the period leading up to this. I think made a little bit of a technical change with her action, and the ball's coming out beautifully. And I think showed it out there today, able to bowl with the new ball, come back in the middle and bowl at the end, and she's got it all really. We've always known that she's capable of this, and she's a world-class all-rounder. And I think she's shown it with the bat in the past, and she's really shown it with the ball now in this tournament.
And that was a very convincing win out there. That can't have been what you were expecting when you knew that you were facing South Africa.
You always go into these games against all the teams, but particularly South Africa. We played them in the summer. We know how good a team that they are. They've got plenty of dangerous players. Look, we know that we're a good team as well, and I think it was close to being a perfect performance with us. I think we bowled really well as a group, the spinners as well. And probably a couple of mishaps in the field, and then we chased it down the way. I think Tammy and Danny came out with some real intent and real aggression with the bat. I think probably put them on the back foot. I think the bowlers seem to have had the best of things so far here in St Lucia, so I think the way they came out and played really put us on the front foot.
The one thing that happened early was losing the DRS review. Can you talk us through kind of that decision being made and then how frustrating that was?
Ended up being a terrible review, really. I thought it was a bit closer than it was, and then you watch a replay and you... look, it was pretty full. We didn't know how far the ball had to travel, but I didn't realise how... I didn't think it had gone as far down. Me and Amy didn't think it had gone as far as it had, but it's just one of those things. DRS is new to everyone and getting used to it. Unfortunately, we lost it early, but it didn't seem to hurt us, so that was good.
Hi, Anya. Coming into tonight, you would have known that losing was virtual elimination for both sides, but they seemed to play quite timidly. You played quite aggressively. What sort of mindset did Mark Robinson and Heather ensure that you had going into tonight to make sure you were focusing on that upside rather than concerning yourself with the downside? I
think a lot of it, try not to speak in cliches, a lot of it is focusing on yourself. Obviously a lot of talks around how good a side they are, and they really are, but it's about, I guess, having that confidence in yourself. We've come off the back of playing them quite a lot in the summer, and we've got a really good record against them, so I think that's something that gave us a lot of confidence coming into the game. And all of these things, it's about coming out and being the team that plays the best cricket on the day, and I believe we were today.
And also, amazing support from the 40 or 50 strong crew up there. They sung and danced for the duration of the match. What does that do for you out there, knowing that you've got this loud group who are right behind you, and obviously plenty of loved ones amongst that crew as well?
Yeah, it's huge. Having that support here, they're pretty vocal. You can hear them all the way through the game, which is amazing. And obviously, it being friends and family, it's really good for the girls for them to be here. I guess around training days and match days as well, to have people here you can go and see. I think it really helps relax things, and I think they've been a massive help to us. So hopefully they keep coming out in support of us.
Oh, sorry, last one. Sorry, another one. You were quite humble there, talking about your hat trick, sort of making it sound like it happens every other day. I'm not sure how much there is to talk through. I mean, you're the second woman to take a hat trick in a World T20. It doesn't happen every day. Have you had, obviously not a chance to think about it yet, but taking a hat trick in a World Tournament is a pretty big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's the last over of the game. Obviously, they're trying to score some quick runs, and just thankfully got a few balls on the stumps, a couple of slow balls that gripped, and then you bowl a ball at the stumps and hope they miss it. So, I mean, yeah.
Do you remember watching any hat tricks growing up, or any hat tricks stand out for you watching on television as a kid?
Actually, there's some. The one I remember probably the most, actually, I wasn't playing because I was injured, unsurprisingly, was Nat getting a hat trick in West Indies. So I think she's the first English bowler to get a hat trick in an international 2020. Thank you. So it's nice to have two of us now. Thanks.
A victory is a victory, but including your hat trick, that you got the hat trick, I wouldn't want to take that away from you. would your batsmen would have liked to been chasing 130, 140 and winning the game, knowing that you got to look ahead to Antigua and all of them would have got an opportunity to have a hit?
I think you got to win the game. I think there's no, you can't look too far ahead because you lose this game, you lose this game, we're out. So you've got to win the game. It's the nature of 2020. Quite often, you're kind of number 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8 don't get in a lot, and there might be down the line we might have to chase a slightly bigger total. But I think you've just got to win every game that's in front of you. Our batters look like they're in good form, which is really good, and I suspect that should we need to chase more runs down the line, I think we will. But I think the way we went out and batted today, if we were chasing 120, 130, that's kind of how it looked like we were playing. So I think it's there, but you've just got to win the game.
The semi-finals in Antigua, you expect that England to be able to lift the level very easily?
Look, we've got a group game to go yet. I think we can't overlook that. I think momentum's a huge thing in 2020 cricket, so it's nice to, I guess, kind of have one foot in the semi-finals, but we want to come out here and put in a really good performance against West Indies on Sunday, and then we'll start to look to Antigua and adapting to how things might be different out there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and congrats again.
Nat. I've transformed during the interview, no problem. I can beat Nat, she was very good.
I wasn't trying to rob you of your hat trick.
No, you can, don't worry. No problem.